Please get yourselves comfortable wherever you're sitting. If you need to lie down, if it's night time for you, that's fine. Whatever posture you're in, it's important to learn how to relax in meditation. This is perhaps easier said than done, but it is possible, and it's worth turning your attention to it and realizing that the only person that can teach you the art of relaxation or letting go and resting is you. I can say a few words to point you in that direction, but the investigation or the practice of turning inwards is really about you learning what it feels like to relax and how to facilitate that and deepen it. So firstly, just start to gather an appreciation of the silence and stillness, which is actually always present. Not as a phenomena, but more as an intuitive, felt sense. Even if there are sounds outside, or my voice coming and going, even if people are moving around you, there is still that stillness that you can rest into. And you can do this simply by recognizing it. And how do I do this? A few ways you can start is simply by turning your awareness to the very sound of silence itself. Just noticing the silent sound in between any external sounds. And you're recognizing it as something inherent, not as something you have to create or manufacture, but simply recognizing it as a natural, ever-present state of being. and abiding as that. Notice silence for a while, right now, all pervading, ever present. Allow all the sounds to come and go without getting into combat or conflict with anything. Just keep turning your attention to the background silence that contains them all. And gently rest into that. And if you find this really difficult, because it is a subtle practice, you can say the word silence a few times, allowing spaces between the words, doing it slowly And then just notice how your entire body and mind feel. And as you learn and teach yourself how to become more sensitive to this very silence within and without, you're attuning yourself to it. Can you see how you can start resonating with it? Or perhaps more accurately, how it resonates within and as the very fabric of your being. There's a few metaphors that we can draw on and contemplate in our meditation that can help us to become more sensitive and more attuned in order to recognize His silence, peace, and stillness. One of the most common metaphors is that of the open sky. The open sky is all-pervasive, ever-present. It contains everything that flies through this sky. And yet the sky remains untouched, unmoved. The sweetest bird moves unimpeded through the open sky. Our minds are just like this open sky when we start to recognize this aspect of the mind. rather than paying attention and getting into fights or conflict with the various objects that appear in the mind, the sky of the mind. We turn our attention more to the space of the mind itself. So just be the sky, open and embracing everything. And knowing it will just simply pass through naturally and eventually dissolve. If you find yourself flying away with the objects that appear in the mind sky, the thoughts and perceptions, the memories or emotions, just keep remembering, my mind is like the sky. Remembering is what mindfulness is all about. And then when you do remember, simply relax back into this empty sky. And because it is inherently peaceful and tranquil, you don't have to try to relax. You don't have to do relaxation. You simply have to tune into that frequency, which is your own natural frequency. So we do have to learn how to tune the dial to that frequency. Like back in the days of analog radio, we had to tune to a radio station. And when you hit the right frequency, the sound comes through clearly. It's the same thing. So tuning the dial means waking up, remembering to be mindful. Seeing what you're holding on to and how that's causing suffering and stress. And when you see that, and there's wisdom present, you can let it go. Or rather, it naturally drops off and fades away. And as those attachments to everything within the conditioned world start to fade away, that open sky of peace and stillness reveals itself. It's waiting there all the time, waiting for you to recognize it. And it's nowhere else but in this very present moment.